Yeah, go ahead.
So hello everyone. We are here today to have a workshop on the power of journaling, and me and Paridi will be moderating it. So the first question is, what comes to your mind when we say journaling? What do you think about it when when we talk about journaling?
Uh,
Yeah,
Writing our daily stuff and thoughts, collecting it at a place.
Okay. Anyone else?
yeah, it's about scheduling or writing or you know putting down what we want to do or what had happened in a book or something.
Uh,
Struct-
isn't it called a to-do list?
What had happened is not to-do list.
Okay. Anyone else?
I
Structured
think it
way
is
to
keeping.
write
Sorry,
down.
go ahead, Gayatri.
Is my voice audible?
Yeah, it is.
Structured way or unstructured way to reflect.
Okay. Amrita, you were saying something?
Yeah, I think it is keeping track of what has happened and what do we want to do in future.
Okay. Journaling is just a simple yet a very powerful tool which we can use for self-growth and self-development because it clears our mind. It gives us a clear vision of what had happened and what could have been done or what we need to do better, right? And secondly, my second question would be, have you ever tried journaling? And if yes, what was your experience with it?
Yeah, at a point of time we all try uh, journaling, right? Uh, it's a when you try it, it feels like it's like a it gives you instant kick that you're doing this every day, and you'll sort of understand what you're going to do tomorrow, or what you're going to do in the next week or something like that. But it wears off suddenly, and you occupy with other things, and you forget about journaling. Yeah, that was my experience.
Okay, thank you, Krishna. Anyone else?
So for me, yeah, Dia, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, for me, when I tried journaling, it was basically, I think, during school only. I just wanted to, get my schedule. Like, I used to do a lot of things together, so I just wanted to, allocate time for each and everything and make sure that I'm able to give time to each thing and also be productive in a way that I'm focusing on each area that I want to, and just keep small milestones or goals for each day. For example, if I'm studying, then maybe like one chapter or two chapters I'm studying. So my personal experience was that I felt pretty satisfied with myself when I was journaling and I was following whatever I wrote in my journal, and I did those things accordingly. Like I aligned my task accordingly. But then suddenly I just, like, once school was over, that thing also stopped. And now I think I never went back to journaling again.
Okay. Actually, I had the same experience. I used to journal every day when I was in school, and I think journaling basically helped me to with clearing my mind. Like sometimes there are things when you could not talk to someone, or when you just want to write something which you know nobody could else could understand. So journaling comes there as a very great part. Okay, thank you, Diya. Who wants to go next?
Right. So I was just saying, when it comes to tasks and everything, so for that I just use my, phone notes app. Like if I know I have a bunch of things to do or I have some deadlines coming up, I used to just put them in the notes app. Now we have the TOC sheet and everything for DT related to-do list and tasks and so on. But journaling is something I used to do more for, like Janvi mentioned, more for clearing my mind or for emotionally regulating myself. Like if something had happened that had me very feeling very emotionally unregulated, then I mean, of course, you can talk to your friends about it, but there's only so much that you can talk to them about it, right? Like you can tell them once, but you might not feel better right away, and you might want to talk more about it without making other people feel burdened by it. So, in those instances, journaling was helpful for me. And a lot of times, if I couldn't really figure out why I'm feeling a certain way, it's like I can tell that I'm feeling bad, but I don't know why I'm feeling bad. So then I can't really talk about it because I myself don't have that clarity. So then writing whatever came to my mind right then and there in that moment, it seemed to help, because I would start writing at a random point and it would go on tangents. Like I would just write whatever came to my mind, and there would be a point where I would stop writing, and usually at that point, I would find some sense of clarity that, okay, maybe I could not tell this was the reason, but when I started sort of free, free association of all my thoughts, then I sort of ended up somewhere that maybe this was the root cause of everything. So in that sense, journaling has been helpful, like a on and off thing, which I do when I'm feeling that particular way, not on a very regular basis.
This also reminds me. So, I used to journal about my dreams. It might be a little bit weird, but I used to have like I still
Mm.
have a lot of dreams, but now I forget them. But before, like it used to be very vivid, and I would have like two, three dreams every day. And when I started journaling them, I realized the pattern. Like certain dreams, they would reoccur a lot of times, and that kind of made me realize that there were certain things in my subconscious mind, right? Maybe certain fears or certain anxieties that like that instigated those dreams. And then that really helped me introspect in a way and tackle those things in my subconscious mind.
Okay, thank you, Dia and Paridhi. Anybody else wants to go, or should I continue? No? Okay. Okay. So I just wanted to clear a point. Like, sometimes we are mismatching the word journaling with planning, I think. Like, yeah, because by the answer that I got, there was a misunderstanding of what is journaling and what is planning. So there is a very big difference in that. Like, journaling is basically what happened after that plan, and planning is what you are supposed to do. Like, I hope I'm, yes, Sadhna?
And I basically have a question. So, like, is do journals mainly contain like is it basically kind of what we need to do or what kind of task we need to achieve, what we have done? Like, as far as I've like heard everyone's opinion, what kind of things they journaled and all. It is mostly about like self-explanation, self-analysis, understanding something about yourself. So it can journals also contain reflections about something you see or some incident that you maybe observed someday. Like it's kind of like how people write diaries now. Like can we
Yeah.
consider journals to be same?
Yeah, that is what I was explaining. Like, journaling is basically something that is more personal rather than planning, which is not. And yeah, in reflections, in journaling, we do write our reflections, how we felt, how something went wrong, or how something did not went good. Or okay, we have a lot of questions. Vishwambara, please go.
Yeah,
Did I pronounce your name right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Uh, and I'm film enthusiast, and I written some scripts in my life. So in initial days, I used to brainstorm a lot, but I used to forget the ideas. So I used to write whatever the idea comes into my mind. So I don't lose it in next. So I hope this comes under journaling, right?
Yeah,
Brainstorm.
it totally does.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we get ideas so randomly at some places where we just could not think of it. But if we have a track of it, if we are writing it somewhere, we will remember it. Not today, but someday. Yeah, Sanvi, please go.
Yeah. Can we say like journaling can be a umbrella term also, like including all of our reflections, collection of our thoughts, even emotions? Because see, I don't do journaling daily, as we all say that we should do journaling daily. But for me, I don't know if it counts as a journaling. But as Paridhi said, I do the writing when something, the day is a little different. Something I need to recollect, something I have to mention or write to just, give some kind of clarity to myself. That's all.
Yeah, uh, yeah, I agree with you. And it is not practical to write journal every day. Like if we are having a very basic day, why would we journal about it? But it does helps when we are like having an emotional turmoil or having a some incident that we want to that we're not able to discuss or process. So in those times, journaling really helps. Yeah, dear. Please
Like,
go on.
can I just ask something?
Yeah.
Like, what should be the frequency of, writing journals and all? Because the thing is, I started like not exactly, I don't know whether I can call it journaling. I just used to write diaries. Like in diary, I used to write everything that happened with me every day. And
Yeah,
initially, when I
that is
started,
journaling.
yeah, I started it during the second year of my college. So I just used to write something, and it was on a daily basis. But after a few days, I slowly lost, track. I slowly lost that habit. It slowly went to on a weekly basis. Ultimately, there were some scenarios when I just wrote one diary in 1 month. So like until now also it is still there. I still sometimes write it, but it's very irregular. I cannot really,
Yeah.
write it things regularly that
I
much.
think one thing that can help us to clarify is that there are different types of journals. Some could just be, you're noting down everything that is happening, everything you felt throughout the day, sort of like describing how you were throughout the day, tracking yourself, activities, emotions, feelings, thoughts, whatever happened, whatever comes to mind. Another form could be more reflective. So that could be so taking Sagnik's example, he wrote a diary entry of that particular day and then he spent some time reading it and trying to introspect what feelings come up for him while he's reading it. When he's thinking about his day, even if it was a very simple, boring, mundane day, when he's reading about it, how does he feel? Does he feel, content and calm for having another normal, peaceful day? Does he feel bored? Does he feel, resentful? Why was it just another boring day? Why was there nothing new in it? So, reflective journaling then focuses on those feelings that come up for you because those feelings are what tells you, right? That, okay, maybe I need more of something or less of something. If I am feeling overwhelmed after every single day, then maybe I need to reduce some things. If I'm feeling bored at the end of every single day, then maybe I need more of something in my life. So, in that sense, diary writing is simply noting it down, but when you're journaling, you're actively engaging with what you're writing. Even Vishwambra's example of writing scripts, if he's just writing whatever script comes into his mind right then and there, then he's just using it as a place to store his thoughts. That's like note taking, right? Except it's your thoughts that you're noting down. But if he's actually stopping and rereading that script and trying to see how he feels about it. What does he think can improve? If he's noticing any changes, is my script today better than my script from yesterday? Is there a common pattern between all the scripts I'm writing? Then that is more of journaling because you're actively engaging with what you're writing rather than just, getting it all out there and then closing it shut.
Okay. And also, Sagnip, there's no defined like timeline or how should we write a journal? It depends totally on you, how you choose to do it. Okay, Dia, please go on.
Yeah, so my question was like pretty much so Paridhi explained, right? So writing diary and journaling is a bit like different. So my question is that when we are talking about journaling, are we already assuming that we have already noted down our plans somewhere, our goals, and then in our journals we are reflecting whether we are, working towards those goals and how we felt during the day. Is there like, is there some need to improve on something? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I feeling happy? Things like that.
Yeah, I think your question would be answered in the next slides because we have the types of journaling in that. And if that doesn't answer it, we'll come back to it. Okay? Yeah, Gayatri.
Yeah, I just wanted to share one different experience. One day I was not feeling good, so I wanted to vent something somewhere. So I started writing something on a diary. But then after I wrote it, the that thing was again and again coming to my mind. So I thought maybe journaling is not working for me. So I don't know how to vent up in diary.
Okay. Can you
Yeah,
please repeat if there was a question?
I think Gayatri, so I think it's just what we discussed, right? If you're simply writing it, like just writing it, that might not be the same as emotionally engaging with it. It's like, when something really bad happens, a lot of people, they are able to communicate it with a very straight face that, okay, this happened because they're not actually feeling it. It happened, I've communicated it. I think I've gotten it out, but I haven't actually processed it. I haven't actually let myself focus or introspect on how it actually made me feel, what emotions it made me feel, why it made me feel that way. Because that process takes, number one, it takes effort and time. Number two, the chances of you feeling worse before you feel better are much higher. So a lot of people don't want to do that. Like I would rather feel numb than actually, have to deal with all those heavy emotions. So I think that is also a reason why journaling or diary writing might not work for a lot of people because it requires you to be vulnerable. It requires you to allow yourself to feel the emotions, whether they are good or bad. So that could be one thing to work on for all of us to help, journaling or diary writing to make us feel better.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention that I wrote everything I can, like how I felt, why I think, why I felt that way, or everything. But still, the intensity of emotions only increased. Uh, yeah, so maybe writing only about happy moments is better.
It's better in the
No,
short
I think what
term, but not long term.
happened was,
Yeah,
okay,
Janvi.
what happened was you were thought dumping your, right? You were just dumping out your thoughts in the journal rather than feeling those emotions and coming out to a solution like why you were feeling that. Because
Yeah,
if we
even
apply that,
I agree with Gayatri. When we talk our like we feel bad, then if we express by orally, then we feel good. But if I write, it intensifies. Like like Gayatri said, that's I stopped journaling.
Uh, that's why doctors usually say write and discard it. So you'll delete it from your memory, something like that. Yeah.
Guys, I feel journaling is not the solution to something that happened. It takes time, and the time has to be, spent to feel better. It's not the dopamine that we'll get after writing.
yeah, okay, let's move on. So we already covered this, that what is journaling, personal practice of writing down thoughts, emotions, and experiences, a tool for reflection, clarity, and growth. And why is it important? It's important because it helps to organize our thoughts, enhances our emotional well-being, and encourages mindfulness and focus. Because while writing a journal, these all things are needed. So, what my question would be on this slide is, what benefits do you think journaling could bring to your daily life? Like, we already got the negative ones, that for some people it is in intensifying their emotions. What are the other aspects that you think happens?
We can know ourselves better. When we know ourselves better, we can get better, I think.
Can you elaborate a bit more?
Yeah, there will be some hidden patterns in our life we might not know. When we write down everything, like when we reflect on everything, to be precise, then we will be able to find that hidden pattern where something is going wrong. If something is going wrong, we'll be able to find it in a very structured way. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a correct answer. Does anyone else wants to answer it?
I think if if you if journaled in, like, in a way that you are actually reflecting everything that you're writing, right? You're asking yourself questions like, this is what I felt, why I felt this, and things like that. I think it is like a self Socratic dialogue with yourself, and it helps you to, point a finger or put your finger on what exactly you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and what you can do to maybe tackle any negative emotion or anything. So that's kind of from like a personal experience. Like, that's how journaling helped.
Yeah, I also had an experience I would like to share. Like there was one of my friends with whom I was on bad terms, and when we had a fight, but when I wrote down to write everything like a journal in the evening, I figured out that what I was feeling, like the anger or anything towards her, was more because of what I thought of her rather than what she was doing. Yeah, I hope I'm trying to giving you the point here. So for me, writing a journal, basically it reflected what I was thinking, why I was thinking that, and how I could change that. Like instead of blaming other person, first I need to know what I am feeling. Okay, so I think that helps very much.
I think
Okay, so the next slide
um,
is.
if I'm not journaling, usually we just go through the day, right? The day started, the day ended, it's over. But now that, so even in the TOC writing, the daily reflection sort of forces me to look at my day in more detail, even if I think that it was a normal day or nothing really happened much, or there's, nothing really to write about. But if it's something you have to do every day, then that forces you to really look at your day in more detail. And when we do that, we do end up finding something which we may have overlooked. Maybe it could be some very minor improvement compared to the past day, or maybe it could be a very minor setback compared to the past day, or it could be some, maybe you might be feeling worse than usual without really noticing it. So I think one benefit of journaling is this, that it brings our attention to things which we might overlook otherwise. And because it brings us attention to them, we are able to work on them before they become a big enough problem for us.
Yeah, I agree with Paridhi, and I also want to one more point. It is that when I'm supposed to write a TOC every single day, when I'm writing it, I don't want my day to look the basic way. Like it uh, motivates me to do something that I could write about. When I'm writing a celebration, I want to have something that I can celebrate. So yeah, I think that also helps in a positive way. Moving on, we have the types of journals, like you all were saying, no? So there are reflective journaling, gratitude journaling, bullet journaling, prompt-based journaling, and there are also a lot more journaling based on what type of journaling you are doing. Like if we are just recording our thoughts and reflecting or experiences, it could be as a fiction. It is under the reflective journaling. And Vishwambara was saying that writing the script and everything, this is the prompt-based journaling. Like we are responding to specific questions or prompts. And the gratitude journaling, it basically focuses on listening, like being thankful for what we have or what we have got. So yeah, okay. There are a lot more types of journaling which I could not mention here. So the basic idea of these types of journaling slide is that journaling is not, it does not has a static reference of what a journal should be. It does not have a fixed structure. It can be personal and it is dynamic. It depends on the people who is writing a journal. Like what kind of journal do they want to write? If they want to show the gratitude, if they want to reflect on themselves, if they want to have a like create a solution for a problem statement, etc. So on this, do you have any questions on this topic, like type of journaling? Okay, if not, I have a question. What type of journaling do you find most appealing and why?
Can you repeat once again your question? You were not audible.
Which type of journaling do you find most appealing and why do you find that so? Yes, Sandeep.
Okay, so I find the reflective journaling. Is it just to record our thoughts and reflect on experiences only?
Yeah, it is basically the reflection that we write. It comes under the reflective journaling.
Okay, so why I like that is because I get to improve. Like I don't need someone else to help me to improve. I can improve on my own through finding my own areas of improvement, and that's why I like the reflective journaling.
Okay, thank you, Sandeep. Dia, please go on.
Yeah, for me, I think a mix of reflective and gratitude journaling helps because bullet journaling is something that kind of comes into, planning and organizing and stuff.
Planning. Yeah.
Yeah. But when it comes to reflections, I think it really helps me to, like, you gave an example of your own, right? You talked about how you are feeling some negative emotions regarding your friend, but then you were able to pinpoint why exactly you were feeling that. And it wasn't something that your friend was doing, but it was something from within you. So I have also had instances where I was feeling certain negative emotions, but then later I realized that it was all in my head. And there were some other thoughts that was, prompting those negative emotions. So reflective journaling plus gratitude, because gratitude towards others is something that comes very easily for me, but gratitude towards myself is something that I have to do every day so that I don't just focus on mistakes I made in my day, but I also focus on celebrating myself, like whatever I did, anything small, big things. So yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dia. Gayatri, please go on.
Yeah, I would like to choose prompt-based journaling and gratitude journaling because when I would be doing prompt-based journaling, I am already having certain questions that I want to answer, and based on those, I will not get distracted, and um, all the details are I can put all the details. So
Yeah, it gives you a structure to solve a question, right?
yeah, it also feels like a conversation. So I think that and gratitude journaling is what I would choose.
Yeah, thank you, Gayatri. Here's Vishwambara.
Yeah, I would choose bullet journaling and prompt-based journaling because prompt-based, I have already done it in a past experience wise, but I used to do bullet journaling also because organizing task is something when my schedule was very tight, used to be very tight, right? So I needed to do this. So yeah, I will do this too if I get a chance, right? Yeah. Reflective,
Yeah,
I don't choose because I have past bad experience with this because I don't want others to, go through my stuff, right? Um, Even though I don't like writing diaries for that reason. Yeah.
okay. Thank you, Vishwambara. Amrita, please go.
Yeah, so my choice of which kind type of journal to write would depend on where am I applying it. So if I'm doing for my work, I would choose to go with reflective journaling, where I'm able to reflect on whatever I did, what worked, what did not work, how can I improve. But if I'm writing more of a personal journal, I would go with gratitude journaling, where I'm able to appreciate what I have rather than just reflecting upon, what is not correct or what do I not have.
Okay, thank you, Amrita. Does anybody else wants to go or should we move forward? Okay. Uh, so this slide basically tells us how to start journaling. Like this is a basic tool. The first step is to pick a medium. Like I think we can go through this. I don't need to explain this. Uh, but yeah, once you go through it, uh, we have a question that what prompts or topics would you enjoy writing about in your journal? And more important than that, what medium would you choose? Like, would you choose to write it in the old school way of writing it with a pen and paper, or would you go digitally, like Paridhi said, writing in your notes in your phone? What would you prefer doing it?
I choose digital way so that it would be more secure.
Okay. So does
I
the
think
keeping it digitally doesn't, yes, Agni, please go.
I think it like kind of depends on the type of journal that we're writing. So like if it's like in the previous slide you showed bullet points journaling, right? So that's basically organizing what we want to do, what we have done. So basically organizing how much work we have done. So those kind of things I usually prefer to write down somewhere which I can access easily and anywhere. Best place is my phone, right? So it depends on the journal. Now, for example, if I write reflective journals, basically, jotting down things that I have done, my feelings and all. Those things I would prefer to write in a notebook. I'm a bit old school. It depends on personal preferences also. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Agni. Yeah, Gayatri.
Yeah, I would prefer digital way if as Sagnik mentioned, if things are about organizing your thoughts or bullet points journals. But if I am writing something about my feelings and emotions, then I would prefer old school way of writing down it in a diary. But yeah, I'm so scared of someone going through my diaries. So I don't know.
Yeah, okay, Gayatri. But I would like to explain how to start journaling because the first thing is that we need to have a routine, even if it's for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, that we can bring out in our schedules to write a journal. We don't need to write a 1 or 2 page journal. We just need to keep keep it short, but write about what went well today or what are you grateful for. Like you can add everything into it. Also, you need to celebrate some things about yourself, like the gratitude journaling wala part. You have to mix all those types of journals and write a small journal. And also, as Sagnik questioned, it does not have a fixed boundary. You can do it every day. But if you prefer to do it weekly, it would be more effective because you can look back at the whole week and figure out what you did, how much you did, how you felt about it, right? And most importantly, we need to be honest about what we are writing in our journal. Because if we are not being honest, what is the point of writing? Like we can talk to our friends, we can talk to somebody else, but we all know we are not 100% honest in that also. So writing a journal, it needs to be done honestly. Okay, let's move. Okay, our next slide is about overcoming the challenges. Like we always give few excuses like I don't have time to write a journal, or I don't know what to write in a journal, I don't know how to write it. So I think the basic solution is if you don't have a time, I think we can bring out 5 or 10 minutes of time to write a journal because we end up wasting that. We use our phones, we use a lot of entertainment things to bring up that dopamine, but instead of that, we can give 5 minutes to write a journal. I don't think that is a very hard time to fit in your schedule. Also, there are no rules. We don't need rules to write a journal. We just need to write what we feel, right? Okay. I think I'm blabbering. Let's ask a question. If you have ever struggled to maintain or start a journal, what do you think caused the difficulty? Like, do you think what was the main problem that led you to stop journaling? Yeah, Tia, please. Mm.
Right, I think for me, it all boils down to procrastination because when I think about journaling, I for sure know that minimum 30 minutes of my time I would be allocating for it if I do a proper journaling. Then the like a lazy thought comes into my mind कि जाने दो अभी क्यों करना है I'll just do it later and do it later करके it's the end of the day and then I just go to sleep. So the way that I try to, counter this is I just like in whatever book write my journal in, I just, keep that book on my desk and my pen. And when I think I should start journaling, but I'm like, no, later maybe. But what I do is I just open the book, I tell myself, like, okay, just write one line and maybe you can get back to it later. But when I start writing one line, I just, just finish it and then I get up. So I think it's just comes down to procrastination for me.
Okay, thank you, Tia. Yeah, Sandy, please.
Uh, for me, I feel it's about, addiction to get numb, It sounds very bad, but it's not that bad. Everyone does it. Like we use social media, reels, and, short span of time, the entertainment that we do. And writing something and, expressing yourself makes you very much active and overwhelmed. So running away from it so that, I'm watching reels, like it's just addictive. So I feel that's what makes me not go and express or not go and recollect or reflect on my stuff.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Yeah, Krishna also.
Yeah, basically, I never, I never had this urge of writing a journal. I just started journaling just to show off myself to myself that okay, I am writing a journal. Look, I'm I'm in a better stage now, right? So it just to make me convince myself that I am in a better stage. But that excitement wears off after some time, and I just uh, leave it as it is, and work on other things. And sometimes it just feels like this journaling does not help me anytime or anything in anything. So that's the problem with me.
Okay, thank you, Krishna. Yes, Sadhnak.
Yeah, like I guess everybody already provided some like good answers for it. But it was kind of like a procrastination, and also like when I started journaling, or if you call it journaling, like writing diaries and all, I didn't know the purpose behind it. Like what happened was like people in my college, the how should I say, the cool kids in my college used to write journals and all. And basically to copy them, I also used to write journals to become cool like them. It was kind of like under peer pressure. So basically, I started writing, and then one day some days I lost the most motivation. I thought कि एक दिन लिखने से क्या ना नहीं लिखने से क्या होगा. And then that one day turned into 2 days, then 3 days, then 1 week, then ultimately sometimes 1 month में एक ही journal लिखता था. So basically, not understanding the purpose and the need of writing journals, and also procrastination are some of the issues, I guess.
Yeah, okay, Sadhnak. Okay, so I would like to share something. Like I have a problem that I think too much about anything. Like if somebody says to me something, I think about it 100 times. Like why would they say that? What do they mean by it? Or even if I'm given a task, I think very much about it. Like how I can do it, how I can like conduct it, how can I can make it better. So when earlier I used to in school, as I mentioned, I used to write journals which were of pages. Like I would write 3 to 4 pages of journal. But as the time passed and when I was in college, what I used to do is I used to carry a small pocket diary and a pen along with myself everywhere I go. And whenever I have a thought or something that provokes me or something that disturbs me or something that just crosses my mind, which I know I'm going to overthink about, I just write it in my diary and I keep it to myself. I think doing this has helped me way too much that I cannot even explain. I hope if any one of you tries doing that, it would be great. Like just keep a if you cannot keep a diary, we always have our phones, right? We can just go to our notes and write that down. So that also counts as a journaling. Like as everyone mentioned, there's time, there's procrastination, but how much time could it take to pull out your phone and write one line, right? And if we start doing it and it becomes a habit, then without us even knowing, we will write a 1 page journal in a day. Like this is what happened with me. And with this, I got back to journaling. So I hope it was helpful. Okay.
Okay. Jambi, like, I just wanted to share something. So,
Yeah,
hi,
Nitin.
Nitin here.
Yes.
Hi. Like, a few of you said how, like, you guys procrastinate, correct? Like, before writing journals. So, I feel like humans are intuitive beings, you know, like, it's an intuition. Sometimes, most of the times, what you feel like is procrastination is just an intuition telling us that it's not going to, like, create as much value as you think it should. For example, Sagnik brought in a very beautiful example when he said that earlier I was just journaling for namesake. Like I thought it was cool. I saw my friends and I did that. So when he did that, he automatically knows that it's not worth doing. So it's his intuition saying, no, bro, not today. We're not going to journal today. Because anyway, we are not doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for others. It's not going to create any value for you. So whenever you want to do something, but something is stopping you from doing it, it's an intuition saying that there has to be something which is to be corrected before you doing it in a very good flow. Like in Sagnik's case, it was once he understood the purpose, right? He said the purpose of journaling was missing, right? Like in our life, we'll do a lot of things consistently, and if you go back and look at those things that you did consistently, you didn't force yourself to do it, or you didn't actually think that it is going to make you a better person. You just loved the process.
I guess
And
like
one way of
Nitin, just to add to your words, like basically,
yeah,
if something doesn't add value to you, you would lose the
yeah.
motivation to do it. Why do we eat
Exactly,
food every day? Because we need to live, right? If we don't
exactly.
understand the importance towards something, if how it can add value to our own self, we would lose focus over it at the end.
I think one more thing I want to add to this is it's not so, like Nitin mentioned, it's not just the outcome. You do it not just because it would make you better, but because you enjoy the process. So yes, you eat because it will keep you alive, but is that really what you're thinking when you're eating? Or is it just that you like the taste of food and that's why you're eating? Like biologically, your body has evolved to enjoy eating, right? Because people who don't enjoy eating won't survive because your body needs the food. So I think in the same sense, you'll find something in the process of journaling that you enjoy. There would be some type of journaling that you would enjoy. And that is the one that you would keep coming back to. Because then you're no longer doing it just for the outcome, but you're actually enjoying yourself every day when you write it. Like, for example, the celebration part in TUC, right? I think for me, that's the most easiest part because that is the part that gives you the most dopamine, right? You write something that went well or you write something that you're proud of. So then you're no longer doing it just for the UBS score. It's just fun to write it.
Super. Yes, Pardi, like one way of falling in love with the process is by understanding the purpose and by experiencing the fruit of the purpose. In Paradi's case, it was her experiencing the fruit of TOC, correct? You either experience the fruit and you fall in love with the process, or you understand the purpose by listening to someone else and you fall in love with the process. So, without falling in love with the process, if you do it, your intuition will say, no, brother, I don't even know why you are doing this. I'll not do it today. So, it's not procrastination. Like we are giving it a nice normalization by saying it's procrastination, but let's not give ourselves an excuse and say that it's procrastination, which is not procrastination in the first place. It's just that certain things needs to be corrected before you go ahead and do it. All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Nitin. Okay, so this slide is basically some real life examples that I wanted to share because we all know about the journals of Anne Frank and Oprah Winfrey and Leonardo da Vinci. I hope anyone has read any of it. Okay, so what they did was basically they were just writing journals. They didn't know what outcome will come out of it. Like people will be reading these journals that they are writing for themselves after so many times, and they would be getting motivated by it. They would be getting so much knowledge from the journal that they were writing, right? Am I sorry? Okay, so what I wanted to ask from there is, what would you want to look back in your journal a year from now? Like if you start writing a journal today, what would you want to write, look after in your journal if you look back at it from a year now? Yes,
It will
Vishwan.
be comparative analysis. Yeah, where I am now, where I was past last 1 year ago, right? So it will make me feel good, I think. Yeah.
Like in comparison, in what sense?
Right. What I used to do, suppose if I don't had job, now I have job. That's a betterment, right? I was
Yeah.
struggling to do coding in certain aspects. Now I can code better. It's a betterment. So if it is mentioned in a journal, definitely it will help me. Yeah.
So if we keep journaling, we are bound to have a result, right?
Yes.
If like it cannot happen that if we look back a year back from now, we won't get anything that has
I
been
mean,
better.
if I stopped there writing, journaling, right? If I stopped 1 year ago, 1 year data will be there. So that
Yeah,
I,
you won't even know where you were at that time, right? So how would you compare through it?
yeah, I will be knowing, no?
Yeah.
One
Okay.
year,
Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. Yeah, dear.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's not like New Year's resolutions. There are certain days when there are certain, revelations that come to me that, okay, the process which I've been living my life with, it's probably not working out or it's not probably efficient and it's, like it's maybe not
Yeah,
so good.
something needs to change about it, right?
Something needs to change, right? So when I journal, I might mention that, like, I think this is not working out and it needs to be changed. And if I have to go, like, after a year, if I have to look back to that day where I, decided to do something in a different way, I just want to see that what I decided, I actually practiced on it, and now I am a better person. Like, I want to be in that cycle of growth where each and every day, or maybe if not possible every day, but each and every moment of, like, specific moment of time, I'm being a better person than what I am yesterday. And I keep on growing, not just in personal, but also in professional lives.
Okay, thank you, dear. Yes, Krishna wants.
Yeah, so I would like to look back if there was a journal. Like if I get the as Nitin said, if I get the fruit of the purpose, if I understand the purpose of it, I would try to write a journal. And if I write a journal, and if I after a year from now, if there was a journal for me, I would look back on how I used to understand my feelings, thoughts, and emotions right now, and how I will be understanding them. So it's about my uh, thoughts and emotion analysis that I would look back.
Okay, thank you, Krishna. Yes, Partha.
If we start writing, we can see how our emotions are progressing. Personally, like we can easily track and remember our career wise professional growth and financial growth, but our personal growth, our mental growth, if we keep journaling, we knew like how we prioritize emotion at which age. Like last year, I may like petty things, and like that priorities will change. So how mentally we are growing, or is it a good change or bad change? So our mental progression can be easily tracked through journaling.
Yeah, like basically the journals can be a parameter to measure the emotional intelligence or what we have. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay, so I would want like to wrap up this workshop, but before that, I would like to introduce this course that we have added on Decathlon, which is Pen to Progress, Mastering Journaling for career and personal excellence. I hope everyone had got this course, knows about this course. So for to writing the journal in that course, we have this few points that we have mentioned. The steps to begin. The first thing that we need to write in that is we want to find the problem that we want to improve upon. Second thing is basically about the feedbacks that we are getting, and we have to take that feedbacks in a positive way and not take it in a negative way. Like we have to receive those feedbacks, we have to mention them and use them to progress. The second thing that we need to do in that journal is explore the solutions. Like, how could we change that? Like, with consistent documentation, we can change that. We can have awareness and alignment. And we can, the fourth point is leadership by example. Like, we can create the initiative to give the solution to the problem. The third point is about the implementation process, where we would write about how we applied that solution to the problem and what outcome did we got. And we also, at the end of our journal, we have to write about the outcome and takeaways that we got from the problem statement that we first begin with. Okay. So this would be the basic structure of writing the journal in that Dailython course. And with this, I would like to end the session. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And